Well, hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and the word for today is adjust. Hi everyone, this is DearMamaSal, and there's another showing today, so I just thought it was time for me to really talk a little bit about how I've had to adjust my life to this showing business. One of the things that you find out is that your habits are very difficult to break. And that's true of life, isn't it? But for example, we've spent a lifetime learning to turn off the lights as we leave a room. And then, when you're showing a house, you have to remember to turn them back on again. All of them. And the funniest thing is, I have to triple check that I've done that, because guess what? You just instinctively turn them off again without even realizing it. See, that's your habit. You don't think about it. It's like blinking, or breathing. Right? You don't think, I really should breathe in now. Right? You do it instinctively. And once you've got a habit, that is what happens. So why do I choose to talk about adjust rather than habits? Well, it's about the things you have to adjust when you're showing a house. For example, I keep all my carving knives and knives I'm going to use while I'm cooking between my stove and and the countertop. They fit in beautifully. Well, realtors don't like that, because obviously they don't want to be showing a house with a carving knife available to a looky-loo. I can understand that. A few realtors didn't make it out of the house because of that. So you have to remember, I think I did, you have to remember to put the knives away. That's an adjustment. I think we all have things that we keep around our sink to make it easy to clean dishes and clean the sink and do so forth. I'm amazed how many things I keep out to do that. Or how many things you keep out because of the coffee machine, or how many things you keep out because, all these what I call habitual things, that they're very useful in our everyday life. The other thing that I have found is that it's much easier to, for example, turn my rolling computer table, which is next to my bed, turn it around and just throw a sheet over it. Looks a lot tidier than all the wires and everything else showing. And I found that as well in my back bedroom. The way I've adjusted there is all the stuff that I keep in one stack that has to do with doing broadcasts. I just put a pillowcase over it. Just fold it over. I don't put it inside it. I just fold the pillowcase over it. It's the perfect size. And it looks very neat. What else do I have to adjust? Oh, really? This one. Some of you will really relate. You've perfectly cleaned all the glass. I've got glass tables in my living room and dining room. So you perfectly clean all the glass tables and everything else. And they're clean because you did them 2 days ago. Or, just before the last showing or whatever. And it's only 2 days ago. So that basically your tables just needed dust. They don't need a clean. Well, that's not true. Because what you find out is the little so-and-sos, without you knowing, sit and touch your glass. They do it, really. I mean, and then they don't clean it again afterwards. That's the bit that really messes with my brain. And then today, for example, I really had to adjust because I'm going, downstairs and double checking everything. And the marks on my wall where somebody's purse or grubby little hands or whatever have marked my wall going down. I'm going, really? You're going, rats. But what you realize is that life is like that, right? You think you've got it all under control. You think you've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and life's, going on as it should. And then you find out, oops, no, that's not true. Somebody has messed with my plan. So the point that I want to make here is that it's really important that we get that mentality. We can do the best we can, but life is going to get in our way. There's no doubt about it. Life is going to get in our way. So I look at it and wonder, for all of you, would a little bit more adjustment of your brain and your mentality make your life happier? Because that's what I've found. I've taken this whole showing thing as, it's life teaching me to be more flexible. Whether I want to or not is irrelevant. I need to be to get this done. And by the way, nobody expected for me to have to wait this long to sell my place. But it's true. So, I might as well just adjust to the reality and keep making plans to be able to stay another month and another month and another month. Because that may be what happens. I'm beginning to think about unpacking my family's silver and starting to sell it at this point. But it's just like, these things just are what they are. And as I've said in previous broadcasts, getting upset about them is not going to change anything. Seriously. It's not going to change anything. Except my blood pressure. And we don't want that. Where's my blood? Oh, that's very good. My resting heart rate at the moment is 70. That's pretty good, considering I've been running around like a you-know-what. And so that is what I'm working on, is what do I need to do to keep my resting heart rate down? All right? I don't want to get myself into a little snit over this. It's all going to happen. It's all unfolding as it should. And eventually it will all make sense to me why it has to take so long or whatever. There's a reason, I believe. Always a reason. And I'm very lucky in that, I think. So what is it in your life today that you find really gets you frustrated? Is it people doing certain things or people not doing certain things or whatever? And if you can just realize they're just going to keep doing that. If they're doing things that you don't like, have you told them? And if your answer is, well, no, I don't want to cause a scene, well, hello, then let it go. Don't get upset about it. If you haven't bothered to tell them, if you can't have the guts to tell them and say, hey, I just want to let you know, that doing X, Y, Z really doesn't make me happy. But the truth is, people are going to do what they want to do. But I would say that if they're doing something that upsets you, my first thing is always to let them know. If they then intentionally continue to do it, I might even give them a second time where I tell them. But sometimes it's not going to change them at all. I've got a friend of mine, been a friend for 30 years, and he still calls me Sally. Because when he first met me, that was my name. I subsequently shortened my name to Sal, and he will not shorten it. Now, I've told him over the 30 years, maybe 20 times, and he still calls me Sally. I then have to make a choice. Do I want to keep him as a friend or not? Because he refuses to call me by the name I prefer. you know, it's more important to me that I keep him as a friend. So I keep saying to him, you do know I prefer Sal, right? And he goes, yeah. I'm okay. And we both move on. So, you see, this is the whole thing about adjustment. He doesn't want to adjust, so then it leaves it that I need to adjust. I need to make it not so important when I'm with him. You know, another thing about moving or getting a house showing is I came back after the last showing and I could not find my recycle bin or my organics bin that sits on top of it. Disappeared. Clean disappeared. I'm going, where are they? And I, looked in what I considered to be the obvious places and didn't find them. And I was starting to get to the point where I was about to phone the realtor and go, what did you do with them? When I happened to go out on the deck for something else and I found them there. Somebody had put them out on the deck. Neatly. So that's where it pays you to put away things, because if you don't put them away, maybe the realtor will and you'll never find it again. So I do know that each of us, needs more practice in adjusting our attitudes and our mindset and our priorities. I have a wonderful thing. Let me tell you the story. I was on tour once in northern British Columbia, and I was doing a walkthrough of a wonderful children's place before I got up to do a speech. I was in the town, and I'd done a radio interview or maybe a live television interview, I can't remember, but I know I'd been on air in some way. And then they wanted to show me, they were so proud of their local children's center, and they wanted to show it to me, and of course, you say yes, I'd be delighted to see it, which quite honestly wasn't what I wanted to do, but this is called, you're a visitor in their town, so you bet if they're that proud of it, I want to see it, because obviously I need to talk about it in my speech, and it's better to do that firsthand. So I go into this one office to meet somebody who was apparently very instrumental in getting this organized. And I see this little sign on her desk. And it obviously is a printout of a cross-stitch pattern. And it reads, "So this isn't home sweet home. Adjust." I tell you, I took one look at it and I burst out laughing. I said, I don't know how to tell you this, but I need to buy that. She said, what? I said, I need to buy it. And she said, no, seriously, I just copied it off the internet and take it. I'll just copy another one. And I took it home, and it's still in my guest bathroom, because I think if all the places where I want that to be known, if you're in my house, you're going to use the guest bathroom. So you're going to read the sign which said, so this isn't home sweet home. Adjust. Life isn't as we always want it to be, and that's probably a good thing. So adjust. Look after one another, everybody, but most of all, as I always tell you, start by looking after you and adjusting your attitude before you try adjusting everybody else's. Bye-bye for now.